She always believed the wedding wasn't real, just a performance, a contract, a temporary lie. But the moment the billionaire groom leaned in and whispered, "Nothing will be stopped," her world shifted. Suddenly the role she was paid to play felt frighteningly real. The ballroom shimmered beneath layers of white roses and camera flashes. Standing before a tall mirror framed in gold, Ella Martin kept her hands pressed against the skirt of the wedding gown she never imagined wearing. Just 6 hours earlier, she had been bussing tables at a cafe downtown. Now she was dressed as a bride, but not her own. This wasn't love. This wasn't destiny. This was a contract. A temporary arrangement with Adrian Hale, one of the youngest and most powerful tech moguls in New York. His real bride-to-be had walked away days before the ceremony, sending his company's reputation wobbling toward disaster. So he did what rich men often do, he paid for a solution. Ella's job was simple. Wear the dress. Say the lines. Smile for the cameras. Then leave with enough money to save her late mother's apartment from eviction. "It's only for a day," she whispered to herself, straightening her veil. "Just pretend, and then life goes back to normal." But when the heavy doors opened and hundreds of guests stood to watch her walk down the aisle, something inside her cracked. The silence. The stares. The electricity in the air. It all felt too real. Adrian waited at the altar, tall and composed, his tuxedo impossibly perfect. Their eyes met, and instead of the stiff arrogance she expected, his gaze held something softer. Something guarded. Something she couldn't name. As the officiant read their scripted vows, Ella repeated each phrase carefully, like an actor afraid to miss a cue. But when the time came for her to say, "I do," a pause slipped into her voice. The room shifted. Whispering began. Then Adrian leaned close. His voice was warm, low, and strangely comforting. "Nothing will be stopped. Not part of the script. Not rehearsed. Not expected." The words sank straight into her chest. Before she could process them, cameras burst into light and the officiant announced them husband and wife. Adrian brushed a thumb against her cheek, a gesture that was supposed to be staged, but his touch wasn't cold or calculated. And the kiss, brief as it was, felt like stepping off a cliff. The line between reality and pretense blurred instantly, violently, and without warning. Ella's knees felt weak as Adrian's whisper settled into her mind. "Nothing will be stopped." What did he mean? The plan was simple: act married, get paid, disappear. But as guests swarmed them with congratulations, she saw something strange. Adrian didn't let go of her hand. Even when the cameras finished flashing, he held her fingers gently, as if grounding himself. Women in sparkling gowns leaned in to kiss his cheek. Business partners slapped his back proudly. The room roared with applause and expensive perfume. Yet Adrian didn't look at any of them. He only looked at her. "Are you all right?" he asked under his breath. I'm fine," Ella lied. "You paused at the vows." She swallowed hard. It felt too real. His jaw tightened, but not in anger. More like guilt. Or fear. The reception began, and Ella found herself sitting beside him at a long table draped with white orchids. Servants brought plates of food she couldn't pronounce. Couples danced beneath crystal chandeliers. A woman with silver hair leaned in. "Darling," she said to Adrian, "you've finally chosen well." Then she whispered to Ella, "You have no idea how lucky you are." Lucky. The word burned. Because Ella knew the truth, she wasn't chosen. She was hired, a temporary fix, nothing more. But as the night went on, another truth surfaced. Adrian acted nothing like a man in a fake marriage. He stayed close. He watched her reactions. He even asked if she needed to rest her feet. This wasn't part of the rules. When she excused herself to breathe outside, Adrian followed, but kept a respectful distance. The city sparkled beneath them. The wind carried music from the ballroom. "Ella," he said quietly, "there's something you need to know about today." Her heart stumbled. But before he could speak, the ballroom doors flung open. A man stormed out, red-faced, furious, and definitely drunk. "So this is the bride?" he barked. "The replacement?" Ella froze. Adrian's expression turned sharp, protective, dangerous. The night was no longer pretend. What the drunk man revealed next would shatter everything Ella believed about the wedding and about Adrian. The drunk man staggered closer, swaying like a toppled chandelier. His voice cut through the night air. "You didn't tell her, did you?" he slurred at Adrian. "Didn't tell her why you needed a new bride so fast?" Ella's stomach flipped. Adrian stepped between them. "Go back inside, Marcus." But Marcus smirked. "Can't hide the truth forever." He pointed straight at Ella. "You think he picked you because you look sweet? Because you were perfect for the photos?" Marcus laughed darkly. "No. He picked you because you're the only one she would never suspect." "Marcus, stop," Adrian growled. "She? Who is she?" Ella took a step back. "Who are you talking about?" Marcus ignored Adrian's warning glare and spat the words out. "His ex. The one who ran away. The one who said this whole wedding was nothing but a lie." Ella's heartbeat hammered. She felt the ground tilt beneath her shoes. Adrian's eyes closed briefly, as if preparing for a hit he'd seen coming. "She said," Marcus continued, voice vicious, "that Adrian would never dare replace her, unless the woman meant something." Silence swallowed the rooftop. Ella stared at Adrian, breath trembling. "Is that true?" Adrian didn't speak. Not yes. Not no. Just silence, heavy and painful. Ella wrapped her arms around herself as if shielding from a storm. Marcus wasn't finished. This whole wedding wasn't just about saving his company, he sneered. It was about proving something. To her. To the world. To himself. Ella's throat tightened. She had walked in believing she was a placeholder, nothing more. Now she wasn't even sure what she was. Adrian whispered, "Ella, please." But she stepped back again, shaking her head. "You should have told me." The rooftop door burst open once more. Reporters and photographers spilled out, cameras flashing from every angle. Someone shouted, "Adrian, kiss your bride." Ella felt trapped, a performer caught in a play she no longer understood. Adrian reached for her hand, softly, carefully, as if she were something fragile. "Please," he murmured, "just trust me for tonight." Her voice broke. "How can I trust a man who won't tell me the truth?" But the truth was coming, and it wouldn't come from Adrian. It would come from a woman Ella never expected to meet. The ballroom doors slammed again, this time not from drunken anger or reporters, but from something far colder. A woman in a long champagne-colored gown strode out with the confidence of someone who owned every room she walked into. Her hair was perfectly styled. Her eyes razor-sharp. Her presence enough to freeze every reporter mid-flash. Ella recognized her instantly. She had seen her picture in the cafe news articles. This was Isabel Grant, Adrian's ex-fiancée. The woman who vanished just days before the real wedding. And here she was. Watching Ella with a look that wasn't jealousy, but calculation. "Oh," Isabel said smoothly, eyes sweeping Ella from head to toe, "so you're the bride he replaced me with." Ella's breath caught. Adrian stiffened. "Isabel, you're not welcome here." She ignored him completely. "Tell me, sweetheart," she purred toward Ella, "how much did he pay you for this marriage performance?" Ella felt the words slice through her. Her cheeks burned. Everyone waited for her answer. Adrian's voice thundered. "Enough." But Isabel wasn't done. She smirked, the kind of smirk that held secrets nobody else in the room knew. "You really think this wedding was fake?" she asked Ella softly. "Oh no, sweetheart. Not anymore." Ella's chest tightened. "What do you mean?" Isabel leaned in, whispering into her ear. "He didn't cancel anything." Ella froze. Isabel stepped back, smiling like she had just dropped the biggest bomb of the night. Oh yes, she continued loudly. The legal documents, the announcements, the contracts. Nothing was stopped. Nothing was undone. Everything was made official. Ella felt the world spin. She looked at Adrian, shattered, trembling. Tell me she's lying, Ella whispered. Adrian looked broken, torn between truth and fear. I tried to tell you earlier, he murmured. But I lost my chance. Isabel clasped her hands, victorious. Congratulations, sweetheart, she said. You're not a fake bride. She smiled cruelly. You're his real wife. But the wedding was only the beginning, because the reason nothing was canceled was darker, deeper, and far more dangerous than Ella ever imagined. Ella felt her heartbeat in her throat. A real wife? A real marriage? A real signature on legal documents she never meant to sign? No, she whispered, stepping back. This was supposed to be temporary. Just one day. You promised. Adrian's face was pale. I tried to tell you, Ella. I didn't want you blindsided. Isabel laughed, rich, sharp, and cruel. Oh please. Adrian didn't want to look weak. His company needed a bride. A wedding. A storyline. And when I left, he panicked. She leaned in closer. So he chose you, the innocent girl he thought wouldn't ask questions. Ella clenched her fists. Why me? Adrian answered before Isabel could twist the knife again. Because you're honest, he said quietly. You're genuine. And I knew you wouldn't try to use me. Ella stared at him, stunned. You barely know me. I know enough, he said. But Isabel's smile widened like a serpent spotting prey. You also know the other reason, don't you? Isabel said sweetly. Adrian froze. Ella saw something shift in him, panic, guilt, fear. What reason? She demanded. Isabel sipped her champagne as if enjoying the slow destruction. Tell her, Adrian, she taunted. Tell her about the deadline. A chill raced over Ella. What deadline? Adrian swallowed hard. My father left a clause in his will. A clause? Ella repeated. He nodded slowly. For me to inherit the company. I had to be married before my next board renewal. Legally married. Publicly married. Ella's head spun. So you needed me, to save your empire. He looked down. Yes. Isabel lifted her glass triumphantly. There you go, sweetheart. You weren't chosen out of love or fate. You were chosen because he ran out of time. Ella felt her heart crack completely. Isabel added with a smirk. And the best part? He didn't even plan to tell you. Ella stepped away, shaking, tears burning her eyes. You used me, she whispered. You let me believe this was temporary when you signed real papers behind my back. Adrian reached for her. I didn't want to trap you. But you did, she cried. Before Ella could walk away, someone unexpected stepped into the room, someone who knew the real truth behind Adrian's father's will, and it wasn't what she thought. The heavy ballroom doors opened once more, but this time, it wasn't a reporter or an angry guest. It was an older man in a charcoal suit, calm and authoritative, with silver hair and a leather briefcase. Adrian's eyes widened. Mr. Griffin? Ella glanced between them. Who is he? Mr. Griffin removed his glasses with a slow sigh. I'm Adrian's father's attorney. Even Isabel stiffened. Why are you here? Adrian asked. I was asked to deliver something privately, Mr. Griffin replied. But it seems things have escalated. He opened the briefcase and pulled out a sealed envelope. This, he said, is the true instruction from your father regarding the marriage clause. Ella held her breath. Isabel scoffed. We all know what the document says. Mr. Griffin gave her a cold, sharp look. No, Ms. Grant. You knew what Adrian thought it said. Adrian's face drained of color. What are you talking about? Mr. Griffin offered Ella the envelope. His father anticipated manipulation. He anticipated sabotage. He stared directly at Isabel. And he anticipated that someone might try to use the clause to control Adrian. Isabel's smirk disappeared. Mr. Griffin turned to Ella gently. Open it. Ella hesitated, then tore the seal carefully. Inside was a single handwritten page. A letter. Adrian whispered, "That's my father's handwriting." Ella read the words aloud. My son. If you are reading this, it means you are being pressured or misled about marriage. Listen carefully. You do not have to be married to inherit the company. You only need to prove loyalty, responsibility, and the ability to protect someone other than yourself. Ella's hands trembled. Mr. Griffin continued, your father wanted you to choose someone you would defend, someone you cared for, not someone the board approved. Adrian staggered slightly. So, I didn't need to marry anyone? No, Mr. Griffin said. You only needed to show that you could put someone else's well-being before your business. Ella's heart dropped. So, I wasn't needed at all, she whispered. Adrian's face broke with devastation. No, that's not what this means. But Isabel's grin returned, sharper than before. Well, she said lightly, this just became entertaining. Before anyone could respond, Isabel revealed a truth she'd been hiding, one that would turn the entire night upside down. Isabel stepped forward, her earrings glittering under the chandelier light. Oh, Adrian, she cooed. You really thought your father cared about you choosing someone honest? Adrian stiffened. What are you talking about now? She smirked. Your father didn't want you to inherit the company. He wanted me to. The room froze. Ella blinked. What? Adrian's voice dropped. Isabel, don't start. But she did. No one knows this, she said sweetly, but your father and I had an agreement. He wanted a strong, strategic alliance. He wanted a wife who understood business. Someone who could protect the Hale name. She tilted her head. He chose me. Ella's blood ran cold. Adrian's fists clenched. You're lying. Mr. Griffin exhaled slowly. She's telling the truth, partly. Adrian spun around. What do you mean partly? Mr. Griffin looked at Ella, not Isabel. Your father considered Isabel as a potential partner until he discovered something. Adrian's whole body collapsed inward. The pain on his face was real, too real. Isabel smirked. Well, that solves everything. Annul the marriage. I'll take my rightful place. Mr. Griffin shook his head. No. Isabel, you have no place anymore. His father made that clear. Isabel went still, shocked for the first time all night. Ella turned to Adrian one last time. I need my life back, she said quietly. He swallowed hard. And I'll give it to you, if that's truly what you want. His voice cracked slightly, betraying the emotions he couldn't hide. Just stay long enough to sign the annulment papers, he added. Tonight is almost over. Ella nodded. But inside, a storm swirled. She didn't hate him. She hated the secrets. She hated that she had started to care. And she hated that part of her still did. But the night wasn't over, because someone outside the ballroom had heard everything, and what they were about to reveal would change the story again. A shadow moved near the entrance, someone who had been listening. A young woman with braided hair stepped forward nervously, holding her phone. She looked no older than Ella. I'm sorry, she said. I didn't mean to overhear, but I think you all need to see this. She played the recording. Adrian's father's voice echoed through the phone. It was a voicemail. A voicemail meant for Adrian, recorded weeks before he died. His voice was warm, proud, tired, and emotional. Son, you're too hard on yourself. I know you think you need someone perfect beside you. But what you truly need is someone honest. Someone who sees you as human, not as a company to conquer. Ella's throat tightened. The message continued. If you found someone like that, even by accident, don't let her go. Real partners come in unexpected ways. The recording ended. Everyone was silent. Adrian whispered, "He meant you." Ella shook her head, overwhelmed. "But he didn't even know me." Mr. Griffin smiled sadly. "He didn't have to. He knew what kind of person Adrian needed, not who." Adrian stepped toward her slowly. "I should have told you everything from the start," he said. "Not because of the company. Not because of the clause. But because." His voice broke. "Because the moment you walked down that aisle, I knew this wasn't pretend for me anymore." Ella's breath caught. The room disappeared. The noise faded. Her pulse hammered in her ears. But she forced herself to stay steady. "Adrian, I don't know what to feel right now." "I know," he whispered. "Just don't walk away before you know the whole truth." And the final truth, the one Adrian had been hiding even from himself, was about to change Ella's decision completely. Adrian exhaled shakily. "The reason I didn't cancel anything, the reason I didn't tell you, wasn't because of business. Or pressure. Or inheritance." Ella watched him closely. "It was because I didn't want the day to end." She froze. Adrian stepped closer, voice trembling. "You walked in wearing that dress, and I felt something I haven't felt in years. Something real. Something frightening. Something I didn't want to lose." Her breath hitched. "I told myself it was just part of the plan. Just acting. Just strategy," he continued. "But when you paused at the vows, when your voice shook, when you looked at me like you meant every word." He swallowed. "I knew I didn't want to let you go." Ella felt tears burn behind her eyes. "Adrian, I messed up," he whispered. "I should have told you. I should have trusted you. Instead, I let fear control me." He took a slow breath. "I don't deserve a second chance. But I want one." The room was frozen in silence. Ella looked at him, really looked. Past the suit. Past the money. Past the drama. She saw the man. Scared. Hopeful. Flawed. Human. "Adrian," she said softly, "I won't stay because of legal papers. Or your father. Or your company. If I stay, it's because I choose to." He nodded, eyes glassy. "Then I'll wait for your choice." She inhaled deeply. For the first time that night, the decision felt like hers, truly hers. Ella stepped closer. "Then, I choose to stay. But not as your fake wife." Adrian's breath caught. She reached for his hand. "But as someone who wants to see where this could go, for real." His face broke into relief, raw, unguarded, real. Isabel stormed out in fury. Mr. Griffin smiled knowingly. The ballroom erupted in whispers. But none of it mattered. Because for the first time, the bride who was never meant to be a bride became something far more meaningful. A partner Adrian didn't buy. A woman he didn't expect. A choice he didn't plan for, but desperately hoped for. And